with Shanaz and Ken. I see we have the beautiful Veronica Jaglal, and I know you guys missed us last Monday, but it was heavy rain in NYC, so just to be on the safer side, we didn't go to the studio. Hey, Gayatri Darka, good night to you. Good night to Mr. Deo Moti from the Sunshine State. And yes, he was asking, what's our upcoming event? It's our live parang in the studio, guys, so I hope you're prepared for that show. Gayatri, thank you very much. Bibi Hack, how are you doing? Good night, good night. Thank you, guys. And yes, that's the eye of the tiger, and I hope you guys have the eye for the tiger. Hey, Mr. Jamal Hassan, how you guys are doing tonight? Bibi Khan, good night to each and every one of you. Sharing is caring, so hit share on that link, and we have a fantastic conversation with you guys. I want you to ask our audience. I want you guys to ask our guests, and you be the audience out there. Sunita Gobin, good night to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Bharat Misir. How you guys are doing? Thank you, thank you. Sharing is caring, guys. Hit share on that link. We have two fantastic guests in the studio tonight, Brother Chaudhary and Brother Kamal Buyan. So, guys, let's rock, let's roll. Selecta Bolt, let's go.
I want to break free. I want to break free.
Good evening. Welcome to our guests. I know you guys are seeing them on camera right now. Brother Kamal, welcome to our studio. Brother Chaudhary also here. And Ken Ramprasad from Chit Chat every Monday with Shanaz and Ken. So Ken, it's been a while. What can I say? We missed last week's show.
That's right. But we are here. Good evening to all our viewers. Welcome back to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. We are here tonight. I'm going to keep a low profile tonight. I asked Shanaz to do most of the questioning, but I'll be listening and I'll chime in now and again. It was good to have you guys on. And later on in the program, we'll be talking a lot more about COVID-19. And we want to know, Shanaz, does men really belong in the kitchen? So we will talk all about that tonight. And then another thing we need to talk about, do you think that the president should be at the inauguration or he should stand out? And that's right, the president. Now, do you know, during the inauguration, it is the proper thing for the president that's sitting now to attend, but this president, Mr. Trump, President Trump, he doesn't want to go. So we'll chime into that and I'll give my take on what I think about it.
Well, you know, I always look forward to hear from Ken's side, and guys, I want you guys to chime in as well. We look forward to hearing from you, reading your comments online. Hey, the beautiful Jamila Umrao from Antigua, how you doing? Sunita Bisnath, how you doing? Good night, good night. Thank you guys for sharing the link. Bobina, how you doing? And I hope we can have some of our candidates on live too. I know we have normally Mizan Chaudhary locked on, the beautiful Soma, Miss Raj Kumari. So guys, we're going to be talking about this special election. Do you know there's an election coming up in February, Ken?
Well, you know, Shanaz, it's sad to say, but I really don't follow up with too much elections. But now that I'm in the circle with you, I will have to get with the time.
And it's times.
And yes, and one of the good things to do is to always know your candidates, and I'm certainly sure that our guests will talk more about that. It's always good to know who you are voting for and why you should vote for your candidate. So I'm certainly sure that our two guests will be able tonight to talk about little bit about the candidates who will be voting for.
That's right. Thank you very much. Hey, Selecta Abid from Toronto, how are you doing? The beautiful Sonia Chandani Gayatri Darka, thank you very much. So let's start with Brother Chaudhary. Brother Chaudhary has been the moderator for a lot of various shows that I've been a part of. And I really sit down, I listen to all the candidates, and I ask myself, what is the district leader, the city council, and what are they doing for us as a community, you know, people, as an individual and as business. So Mr. Chaudhary, Brother Chaudhary, has been listening to all the candidates. He knows what they're going for. A little bit, I would say, not all of them, but so the floor is yours, Brother Chaudhary. Tell us a little bit, and we have also Brother Kamal Buyan, who will chime in. I want Brother Chaudhary to introduce Brother Kamal to us.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody, all the viewers. Thank you so much for having me on, Shanaz, and thank you to the guest. We also have Brother Kamal Buyan. He is by engineer, he's by profession an engineer. He works for the school construction authority, during the daytime, and of course he leads many organizations. He's the president of a masjid.
BAAG, I know of.
BAAG is the Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group. He's the chairman over there and founding general secretary as well. He's so he has done extensive amount of work for the community. So I am very appreciative of him for doing a lot of work for the community. He's also on the board of Jamaica Muslim Center, which is one of the largest masjids here in Queens. They have Eid prayers that hold about approximately 12 to 20,000 people.
Wow.
And on Eid prayers, former, Mayor de Blasio has come to the Eid prayers, and many elected officials. All the Eid prayers, they all vie to come here. Even the governor wanted to come, but if he is not able to come, he sends representatives. Yeah.
And during yesterday live's debate, you had someone from the Bloomberg reporter, I believe.
Yes, I had one of the, I believe his name was Henry Goldman. He's a Bloomberg TV reporter. He attended our show. We had many local TV coverage for the show that we did yesterday.
Fantastic live debate, and Brother Chowdhury was the moderator of that program. Brother Chowdhury is a part of the Muslim Community Forum, so it's good to be involved in your community, especially when we need support more. Together, they said, we stand united. United we stand, divided we fall. So explain to us some about why did you get involved in community work?
Well, community work is very important, right? It is your way of giving back to the society. It is a way of doing things for your community. It is a way for doing things for your family as well. So if you don't advocate for yourself, for your community, for your family, nothing is going to get done. Nobody's going to give you anything whatsoever. So especially the powers that are in city halls, the elected officials, if you don't approach them, if you don't hold them accountable, if you don't demand things, for example, you're not going to get it. We have been demanding many things, for example, over the years. Halal food, such as halal food. Everybody has a right to eat, and
right.
We being Muslims, we have a right to eat halal food, right?
And so often I saw halal pantry, which I was so proud of, is in the Ozone Park. They normally post up where the halal food distribution and the pantry will be. So that is awesome. It's good to give back. It's a great feeling. So tell us, as a part of the Muslim Forum, some of your duties that you're doing.
Well, one of the things I founded the Muslim Community Forum originally was put together all of the at least the thinkers of the Muslim community, the leadership of the Muslim community, so they can come together on the same platform, and any issue that we have, we can automatically, we can address it right away. So any issue that comes on, we are able to troubleshoot, we're able to get together and talk about it. At least, start the conversation via writing, and then if need be, if it's a dire situation, we'll get together, get on a face-to-face meeting, or recently through Zoom calls.
Right. Our forum normally on Monday is Your Health is Your Wealth and Domestic Violence. And I did, someone did mention yesterday that domestic violence and, all these things are triggering because of COVID, or pandemic. So is the masjid have some kind of a support system for brothers and sisters who need counseling?
Unfortunately, the masjid doesn't have, but I believe some of the imams do reach out to the family members.
It's really good to know. So guys, if you need help, reach out to us, and we always try to direct someone in need with someone who could guide them and counsel them a little bit.
The imams always do their part in consoling the community, in reaching out to those who need help the most. And so they are the part of the fabric of our community. And,
right.
and they have the religious perspective that they can share, and we can feel good about it, what God says, and so on and so forth. So we look towards them for guidance as well.
Thank you very much. That is Brother Chowdhury, a member of the Muslim Community Forum.
Just to let you know, I'm also the executive director, recently appointed. Thank you, Brother Kamal Buyan and others, for appointing me as the executive director of Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group as well.
Abbreviation is BAAG. That's how I recognize it. But your
Yes.
logo is now Bangladeshi American. So I know you have also a 9-to-5 job. So we all have a 9-to-5 job where we try to do community work and we try to be a leader and team player at the same time. So what is your 9-to-5 profession when you're not in the masjid?
During the daytime, my tour is at night. It's 12 to 8 in the morning. I address the chronic homeless conditions throughout the whole city. So I have staff throughout the entire city, end of the line. They're going out to the subways, helping people, bringing them back into shelter.
Wow, that is awesome. Ken will tell you what he does on a 9-to-5 and how we can collide and how help, it's all like one circle and we always try to provide help. Hey, Jesh, good night to you. I'm not missing you. Steve Rampasal, good night to you. Natasha Carrington from Antigua, how you doing? We always try to provide help. So, guys, you see week after week we talk about helping others. Ken is working with...
Well, yes. As you're talking, I'm listening because, I've been a nurse in this community here for a long time. The homeless population, also people who does drugs, alcohol, and so on. So I manage 60 clients in Harlem, and I've been working in Harlem now probably for over 20 years. And I'm right on Van Wyck and Linden Boulevard, where we take in some homeless patients who have a history of drug abuse or abusing alcohol. So if anybody that needs help, you can always call Faith Mission at 718-322-3455, and I'll be there to help them.
Definitely will refer you some clients.
Yes, and then we have, I know BRC, you probably know the BRC.
Those are one of our providers. Yes.
Right. So I'm well aware of what's going on.
Contract
so, yes,
from the city. Yes.
That's good. And probably later on we can have some conversation, Shanaz and myself,
yes,
and we can have some conversation about how we can really help the homeless population in New York, especially in our population here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not just homeless. Right now, let's say there's sisters out there, and I always speak for the women out there. You want to get them security. You don't want them to be in a domestic violence relationship. So it's always good reaching out to them and see where we can help them to that. I know my mission is in Guyana to build a women's hostel, a women's shelter. But in New York, is it easy to get access to for a women's shelter?
The thing is, the government has so many restrictions, so you just cannot open things up. You also need the community board involvement, you need approvals, you need to have the finance, you need to have the land. Remember, New York City is a very, very expensive place, so anything you're going to have is not going to be easy. It's going to be a difficult process, so you have to fight for it, you have to have the know-how, you have to have the elected bodies on your side. You have to have the finances.
When you say finances, I think we could pull up a few rich sponsors to buy a building to provide for,
Yeah, one of the things, Mr. Chowdhury, what I as a nurse, I said in New York here, it would be a good idea if we have like a shelter for our own kind of people. Like, for example, you've got Bangladesh, like Guyanese. Because what I find out, a lot of time our people, we don't really get along, we don't mesh well with the American population. Number one, if you go to an American shelter, you will get a lot of American food and so on. But if we have and provide for our own people like Bangladesh, India, Guyana, Pakistan, and so on, we will be catered for our own kind of people. And not say that we would not serve anybody else, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the cultural, we want to help our own people, if you get it.
So absolutely, the building is part of the component, but you also have to have the knowledge to run the facility. So you have to have the professional staff, the directors, the social workers, for example. So all of it, you have to have some experience before you're contracted by the city. And,
that was my dream 2 years ago, to actually buy somewhere that I could get called, because oftentimes we get called from domestic violence females and we want to put them up in somewhere. So I would really like, hopefully if you played a lotto and win it, to open a women's shelter for somebody, to work together with our community providing that. So getting back to election February of 2021, this is a special election. What is it about?
So the February 2021 election, Rory Landsman was the councilman. His seat is vacant right now, currently. So it will be a special election because of that. So the mayor has announced for those vacant seats that there will be a special election, especially in that district, District 24.
24, 31.
Yes. District 24. I'm not sure about the other ones, but
Just 24.
Well, I don't want to say just 24. I think this is the one I am aware of.
Okay.
That will have the special election.
All right, so let's have Brother Kamal Buyan from BAG Association talk about himself. And you know what is awesome about it is that we all have careers. We are contributing to our community. We're contributing to the economic growth of this country. So that is, and trying to help others at the same time. So, Brother Kamal, how is BAG and why was BAG formed, this organization created, our mission?
All right. Wow, it was a lot of information. So there's a lot of topics. Brothers and sisters, viewers, greeting of peace to everyone across the oceans here in New York State. Greeting, Assalamu Alaikum. I want to thank Shanaz TV and music and a show, Ken, my great friend here, Mr. Johab Chaudhary, and our DJ here. So I want to thank all of them to invite me here today. Thank you. Bangladesh American Advocacy Group, BAG.
BAG.
The word BAG has meaning. It literally says tiger. In Bengali language, BAG means tiger. B-A-A-G. So Bangladesh American Advocacy Group was created in 2011 by a handful of professionals with one unique visions: to serve the community, serve the voiceless, serve those who need supports. Only one vision: the communities who needs help. The mission started we went to Hajj in 2009. The founding president and myself, we were in the Mina, where it's a special place in the Hajj. And we said we need to do something for the communities. At Mina, where it's a sacred place, we have making a promise to ourselves. We're going to do an organization that is not a charitable organization, but to stand up with the communities, with the political officials, public officials. So our mission was straightforward: help the communities. Ever since then, we have introduced a number of legislative bills. That number one was halal food in New York State. Number two was Eid holidays. That is a tremendous issues that we need. One leads to others. Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group fighting for Eid holiday. That other group can go and also say that, hey, the trend is to follow. So we open the channels. Eid holiday, what do you call the Puja holidays or Chinese holidays, Diwali holidays. This is what is the trend is. That's what we deserve. Halal food. It's not only halal food. The people who needs a dietary restriction in their foods, in their schools, they should be well deserved to have it. This is our missions to do it. God built that the tupi that I'm wearing, or the sister they're wearing a hijab, or the Jews who wear a yarmulke. There is a fundamental rights people to wear this without being discriminated at their workplace. So thank God that has been passed last year after fighting for 11 years. So it has been passed last year. The governor Como has signed it into law. So Bangladesh American Advocacy Group is doing this. Couple of months ago, a state senator and assembly member proposed a bill to shut down all the live poultry shop in New York State. Right. So when we heard that, I said that is not only going to devastate the live poultry shop owners, it's going to be a tremendous repercussions for the communities. So we had a series of meetings with Johab Chaudhary and the poultry shop owners and the councilmen, senators and assembly members, various meetings. Finally, they have pulled out the bills from the legislative calendars. So that will not be on vote for going forward until somebody come up and says, okay, we'll do it. So that's what we do. We basically bring the community's issues to the legislators.
And it's really good that you guys have a good relationship because you represent the people. I must say you have to get somebody who represents the middleman like us, the small person who cannot explain, who cannot speak for themselves. So it's I wonder if we have an organization. I mean, it's named just Bangladeshi, but they represent the community, not just people from Bangladesh.
Absolutely.
So now that brings us to, do we have an organization from Guyana or the Caribbean that we know of that could do the same, stand up for human rights? So guys, we will look into that, but this is such a good program that I enjoy what they're doing, and to know that we all have the same mission of helping others. That's awesome. Hey, Radha Totaram, good night to you. Hey, Mo Tulsiram, good night to you. Watching from New York City. Debbie Suku, good night to you. Sylvina Charles, how you guys are doing? Happy Monday to each and every one of you. If you had a bad day, well, I hope you guys are joining us. And DJ Bolt have a few songs to keep you entertained, as we'll be right back on Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Mr. Jash Ramadan, my editor, is in the studio. So we'll be right back, guys. Keep it locked.
मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए आके मुझे छेड़ जाए, मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए आके मुझे छेड़ जाए, उससे कहो कभी सामने तो आए, मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए आके मुझे छेड़ जाए, उससे कहो कभी सामने तो आए, मेरे ख्वाबों में जो कैसा है, कौन है, वो जाने कहाँ है, ओ कैसा है, कौन है, वो जाने कहाँ है, जिसके लिए मेरे होठों पे हाँ है, अपना है या बेगाना है वो, सच है या कोई अफसाना है वो, देखे घूर घूर के यूं ही दूर दूर से, उससे कहो मेरी नींद न चुराए, मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए आके मुझे छेड़ जाए, उससे कहो कभी सामने तो आए, मेरे ख्वाबों में जो आए। जरा सा झूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे ना रे ना,
जरा सा घूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे ना रे ना,
आ तुझे चूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे बाबा ना,
मैं चली बन के आका,
रब्बा मेरे मैनू बचा,
जरा सा झूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे ना रे ना,
जरा सा घूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे ना रे ना,
आ तुझे चूम लूं मैं,
अरे ना रे बाबा ना,
मैं चली।
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Melina Singh, how are you doing? Good night to each and every one of you. Debbie Suku, hey Pimal, good night, Radha Totaram. I hope you guys are sharing the link, sharing the love. And our question tonight, where Ken is going to say, there's a special election for District 24, guys. And District 24, I'll give it to Brother Kamal to say what consists of that District 24. I know Jamaica Estates is part of it, so go ahead.
Geographically speaking, District 24 covers Jamaica Hills, Jamaica Estate, Hillcrest Hills, Promenade, Fresh Meadows, Hollis Hills. That neighborhood is Jamaica District 24. That's basically the geographical area. But what is a special elections?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is a special election and why one is held?
Special elections is Number one is the seat has to be vacant. So Lulu Ransman, who was the city council member from District 24, he has resigned for better opportunities. So it's become vacant. So what the voters here, there is no Republican or Democrats. Special elections, everybody can participate to vote. There is no candidate under the banner called Democratic leaders candidates or the Republican candidates. That is the special elections. Special elections has anybody and everybody can vote who the candidates are. They choose as their choice. This is the special elections. It's happened within the 60 days of the day of resignation of the current member. So that's basically it. Unless Mr. Johab Chaudhary has some more else to say. Okay, but as it become vacant, as soon as it become vacant, mayor has the obligations to fill that seat within certain amount of times. So that is special elections.
The other thing, my other question to you is, and I am not into politics. Let's say I'm living in that district and there's an opening. Does it have to really be a politician to fill that seat, or anybody can come out of the street and say, you know what, a doctor or a lawyer or whoever it is can say, you know what, I want to take that position? Can they?
In history, as you know, many politicians, not a lot, some politicians came from fresh, don't have any background of politics. Giving you George Pataki.
I remember him, yeah.
Okay. Many other candidates that participate in elections just because they influence to make some change or make it better for the communities. So you do not have to become from political background to participate in elections. Number one. Number two, you have to have the heart to help people, to motivate people that I am here to support you, not for your interest, not my interest. That's supposed to be their message, should be. Every candidate that we ask, they tell what they have done for themselves, or they fail to say what they have done for the communities specifically. So I request all our candidates from District 24, start telling people what you have done for the council district that you are running for, respective council district that you are running for. That would be the message. That will be your message to them, that I have done this for you, and I'm asking for your vote. That should be the special elections.
Yeah. My next question is going to be to Mr. Chowdhury, since he is the moderator and he gets to see all the different candidates and he gets to moderate. Now, I know that you will have a good inclination of who you're dealing with. What are some of the qualities you're looking for when you're moderating? And also, what are some of the qualities that you would ask the people to look for in the candidates?
So when I'm moderating, the qualities I look for when I ask a question is that they truthfully answer that question, and they know the subject matter that we're talking about. So some people finagle that matter. So for example, yesterday a question was asked about the finances of the individual, and some of the candidates, they didn't know how much money that they have raised, or maybe they were not being honest. I'm not sure. I mean, I hope they truthfully answered, or maybe they were shy to answer how much money that they have raised. So I expect an honest answer, and we set a time frame. So we want them to respect those guidelines that we set forth. Some of them don't respect those boundaries, and they want to continue. So as a moderator, I have to put my foot down, and people actually like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Because, as a layman, I think that's a basic question. You should be able to know what's going on. Because if you don't know what's going on in your department, there, how much money you raise, how can you really go in your district with so many people, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, is that a fair question?
Absolutely. No, well, you need the finances in order to run, because you have to pay staff. So this is part of it's not everything, but this is part of running a campaign, The other question you asked, what I look for in a candidate, I can see through a lot of the candidates when we ask questions. They might not tell you verbally, but we can gauge. We want a candidate that represents our community, that represents our interests, that will speak for us, and that will advocate for us. Not a candidate who represents a segment of another community or themselves, or they're in it for themselves. They're in it for, so we don't want
Personal
that
gain.
Personal gain. We don't want that type of individual, because they're just there, and they're just going to run all over you. Once they become elected, they're not going to be responsible to their constituents. They're not going to answer your phones. They're going to all of a sudden, they have the power. So now, so it's from the get-go, we need to know who they are and hold them accountable, and make sure that when they get elected, that they're held continuously accountable.
And that's a good thing to do. And probably both of you can answer the question. I didn't prepare any question for you guys tonight. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, but I'm bouncing off from what you guys are talking about. Thank you. My other thing is that if you guys have a candidate who was elected, right, and you see that they're not doing a good job, they're not representing their community, do you guys feel in your heart that you have a responsibility to let your community know that, listen to me, we have X and Z, they are not standing up to what they were voted to do? What is your responsibility as the community leader?
Well, once you have elected them, it becomes very difficult to unseat them. It is our responsibility to tell people, hey, we made a mistake and I think we elected a wrong person. But it becomes difficult because that individual who just got elected now has the name and the fame and the money and the power behind them, all of it behind them. So they will continue to grow in that seat. So this is why you see a lot of congressmen there for ages, 20 years, 30 years, and so on and so forth, even though they might not necessarily be good after a few terms. But it becomes very difficult to unseat them because now they are etched into the minds of the people, and people think they are really doing good for the community, when in fact somebody else may be of better service to our community.
You want to take that question too?
Yeah. I beg to differ a little bit of my partner.
And that's okay. That's okay.
With Johab Choudhury's. It's a prime example. We undo Trump.
Right.
We
Yes.
undo Trump. Most of the presidents come to do an 8-year terms. We undo him because people has the power to change.
Yes.
So the power that it has the community, the people from the neighbors, people from the council districts, you have the power to change your leaders. If the elected officials do not perform to your expectations, you can undo them in the next elections. You can do it. All you have to do, get united and vote him out. That you can do. And I assure you, Bangladesh American Advocacy Group and many other organizations, if we help a public official to be elected, we can also have them unelected. Because if they don't perform to their standards, hold the promises. So that's my answers. Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, we deal with that nicely. I'm glad that we were able to come to some terms. Well,
let
go
me
ahead.
just speak about the reason why Trump, is supposed
I love this, yes.
probably a one-termer, is I think he barked up the many different trees. So it's just not one tree. I think that's what happened, and I think the entire establishment kind of went against him. So so it became easier for the people, and we'll see. But it becomes maybe somebody who is not as outspoken like Trump, who will melt into the who doesn't speak, who does not agitate you all the time. Maybe they will get to sit there for a long time without you noticing that this person is not a good candidate. So we need to be careful. We need to elect the right people that will advocate for us, that will be our voice, that will do things for us, that will bring resources into the community, and that will think for the future of our community. So that's very important.
Is there any kind of qualification the person have to have? Any special candidate do they have to have? Let's say like a doctorate or a master's degree, or a guy with just a basic GED or bachelor's degree. What's
Well, we prefer the candidates to be well-educated, well-rounded. They should be well-spoken. They should carry themselves well. And, historically, we look for also, a beauty of a candidate, too. So these are some of the things we, as human beings, we look for: somebody handsome, somebody pretty, somebody well-spoken, somebody with a well-rounded education, somebody who can speak. We don't want to have our elected officials who cannot speak, who don't look good, who don't have a proper education. We don't want that, because then any Joe Schmo from the street can become our elected official. And these elected officials are getting paid tons of money. So, for example, a city council member, his base salary, correct me if I'm wrong, is about $150,000, and every committee that he sits on, he makes an additional $10,000+.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. That's excellent. Let's our other guests.
Actually, I like to say is that this time I agree with my partner.
Yes.
I agree with him. Having a basic educations helps.
Right.
But running for a public office do not necessarily. Your question was, do they have to?
Right.
The question was have to. Do the running for a public offices, you do not have to have a higher degrees, like as you say, doctorate and so forth. You have to have two things: heart and a willing to use your heart for the purpose of the serving communities. If you have these two things, the heart and the heart that is ready to serve the communities, you can go ahead and say, I'm a public official. I want to be a public official. That is important. That when you have that quality, you are for the people, and then by the people you will be elected. And if you are higher educated and you are greedy and so forth and so on, you are not a public officials. Public officials has a meaning to it. So I am agree that you have to have a looks and educations and so forth and so on. But more importantly, you have to have a heart to help people.
This is some of the things that I like when I'm hearing people are running for office and so on. Like, example, the President of the United States, and could be anyone. I want to see someone who's there, who doesn't have to be religious, who is kind, who have a lot of empathy, and who have the people's interests at heart, like you said. And so I wonder sometimes, how come we don't have a lot of those people taking care of the people? Because when you have empathy, you become a great leader. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk, since my co-host is not here, one of the things I want to talk about, and I do follow the news every day of what's going on. And one of the things that really caught my attention with the president, that's sitting down, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, but you can just give your basic knowledge of what you think. In my opinion, as the President of the United States, he is a world leader. He's a visionary. And sometimes they're the police around the world, if you know what I mean. And I'm saying in my mind that he should really go to the inauguration and do the right thing and set the tone for good governance. What's your take?
I cannot be more agree with you than what you just said. Think about what you said. America is a world leaders.
Right.
If you last 4 years he was trying to carve himself out from the world to concentrate the country that we are here in America. That's great. Country America's come first, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
But you are the figure in the world. People look up to you.
To you, yes.
So if you do not guide the other countries or the leaders of the other countries, and then that shows that you are not a leaders. It shows that you have a deficiency on your leaderships, like in the past, coming out of from environmental justice acts or environment. What do you call the French, the global I forgot this, the issues, that Trump has withdrawn himself from many climate change.
Climate change, yes.
Not only
yes.
that, many agreements from the world organizations, because he feel like this is not benefits me.
Or the United States, right?
He just simply said it doesn't benefit us. America doesn't. We pay more, but you are the leaders. Leaders always pay more to be the leader on the positions.
That's right. That's right. So let's say hello to Veronica Jaglal. Yes, my co-host. It's somewhere around in the building. We want to say hello to Debbie Suku, Alvin Ramsarup from Schenectady. He's saying Shanaz and Ken, Ramsat to the world. Good evening. Let's see who else we have here. Rita Singh, all the way from Florida. Sabita Kumar. Good to have you on, Bibi Nazarene Rahman. Good evening, Sabita Kumar again. Indira Santi, good evening to you, my friend. That's one of my schoolmates. Usha Azimullah, all the way from Wisconsin. A very good evening to you. Malini Singh, good evening. Debbie Suku again. Philae, good evening. Radha Totaram, Hemo Tulsiram, good evening. Dataline, all the way from Canada. Itzi, good evening. So I'm going to ask you guys, is there anything else that you really want to talk about that I haven't bring up that you want to talk that would help our community or the community in Richmond Hill or District 24?
Let me just take that. I just want to say to the Guyanese community, I know we have been separated for a long time. We don't want you to view yourselves separately than us. We are all brothers. We are all here in it together. So if you want to join the Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group, come join us. The Muslim Community Forum, come join us. Your issues are our issues. So don't feel separated. We are here to fight together, and we are here together. So some of the issues, we face in our community, like we don't have senior centers, we don't have a youth center, an outlet for the youth to go and exercise, to play ball, this and that. So these are common things we face. We also face some of the educational barriers. Some of the schools, for example, Richmond Hill High School may not be so great, or some of our kids may not be doing so well. So these are common issues that we face, and these are the things we need to address so we can have a better future for our kids in the community and in the society, for them to excel.
And then, it's a good thing. I'm certainly sure that you guys have heard before that, together we all can stand stronger, and divided we will fall. And thank you very much for that. On behalf of our Guyanese community, we want to say thank you very much. And like I said, if we all work together, we can get much more done. And I know that if you guys, if you're fighting for holidays for the Muslim, and I'm certainly sure that the Guyanese Muslim, I too, as a Christian, enjoy the holiday too. So it's not you're fighting for yourself, it's that you're fighting for all of us Guyanese, this different part of the world, whether you're Hindu, Christian, or Muslim, right?
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
It's for all of us.
As my friend has said, our organization called Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group has nothing to do with pure Bangladeshis. We have nothing to do with back home politics. We are here to all the communities, whether you are Bangladeshis or Guyanese or West Indies or anybody that minorities, that we are fighting for you. Your voice is what we take your voice to Albany to let them know that your concerns. That is our mission is. So brothers, please join Bangladesh American Advocacy Group, BAAGUSA.org. Look into it. Join us. We go once a year to Albany, 3 to 4 buses full of people, and we advocate for the issues that concerns more about you, more our communities. So please join us, and we thank Shanaz Ken and the Shanaz musical sensations, and it's beautiful evening. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next time we look forward to maybe 2 buses from the Guyanese community.
That's nice.
With us to Albany to knock on each legislature's door to advocate for what we need in the community.
We sit down with the 101 and we say, this is our issues. Will you support it?
Okay, good.
We introduce that as a bill, legislative bills. We get the bill number, Senate numbers and Assembly numbers, and we go each legislator's office and say, listen, this is the bills, and this is our issues. Will you support us? So if the bill has generate enough support, it goes to the floor for vote. So by the grace of Almighty, supports from the communities, as you said, we united, we rise. We divide, we fall.
And one thing more, I don't know if you guys have to run now, but
Yes.
oh, you have to go now. Okay,
we
so
Go ahead,
that's
ask
all
your
right.
last question.
You know what I was going to say. My last comment. I was going to say, it's good if the leaders from different communities, like you guys and the Guyanese community, work together. Because let's say, for example, a Guyanese come to you guys for help, and you may not be able to provide that help. You can reach out to your brother from Guyana and say, listen, I have a Guyanese man here. Can you guys help him? Or we can reach out to you guys and say, listen, we have a guy here or a woman with 7 children or how much that, they need help. Can you guys assist? And, these kind of things. So it will be good. I'm so glad both of you came here tonight.
Absolutely.
And I'm certainly sure with your homeless advocate and experience and so on, that we can continue to work together. And it's a privilege. And glad you guys came tonight.
Indeed.
Thank you
Absolutely.
very much.
very
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shanaz, as well, and to all of the audience for listening to us, giving us a ear.
Yes.
If we have said anything wrong, please do forgive us. And we look forward to working with you and to the entire community. Let us know when you need help. We're
No,
here
you
for
guys didn't do anything wrong. You did a fantastic job in representing your organization. You're watching Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken here on Island Zone Radio and on Facebook Live. So just give me 1 minute. I'll see they go out and we'll be right back. I don't know where my DJ is, so just bear with me for 1 minute. All right, so thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Yes, guys, so I don't know where my co-host, she is busy tying up some business, and I know the DJ is going to come in soon. One of the things that we had planned to talk tonight about, with the COVID-19, and I know that we've been talking a lot about COVID-19, but did you guys know that 336,000 cases of COVID-19 in New York, and guess what? 24,365 deaths here in New York. The other thing is New York City. Also in New York, all of New York is 711,000, and we had 34,552 people died. So can you believe that? The other thing is we have across the United States we have 14.8 million people who contracted the coronavirus, and we had 282,000 people who died from this. And total worldwide, 67.3 million people who contracted the virus. And then we have 1.54 million people who died with the coronavirus. So, to be very honest with you, this is something that's very, very serious. It's taking a lot of people's lives. So, and I see that people are still having parties, going out without wearing their mask. I always carry my mask with me wherever I go, because guess what? I don't want to get coronavirus again. I'm still hoping that I have some of the antibodies in my body. So let's go with our DJ for another song. Shanaz is coming in right now. She is going to get our song ready. Again, you're watching to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken right here on Island Zone Radio. The bad thing is I don't know how to operate her board. I know my board. So just bear with me in 1 minute. In the meantime, I'll say hello to some of our viewers here on Island Zone Radio. And we have Alvin Ramsaru, my good friend Pamela Jeffers, Sanchez watching all the way from Pennsylvania. Debbie Suku again. Pamela, it's good to have you guys on. And yes, we need a voice, Alvin. It's always good to have a voice in our community. And I'm certainly sure that we do have a lot of voices in New York. So guess what? We will try to bring some of the people right here from our community so you can hear from them. Again, you're watching Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken right here on Island Zone Radio and on Facebook Live. we're gonna get Shanaz right now. So let's go for another song. Shanaz is back in her seat, and let's go for another song, Shanaz, while we catch our breath.
That's right. Thank you very much. Hey, Nirmati Dad, good night to you. We missed you guys last Monday, but hey, thank you guys for tuning in to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken every Monday. And hey, this time it's coming up for election, the special election. So guys, go out and vote. That is February, I believe. The beautiful Veronica Jaglal, good night, good night. Thank you very much. What can I say? The editor is upstairs, a special editor editing Shanaz Musical Sensation. So I'm doing two jobs at the same time. Editing for TV, which is Verizon Fios Channel 477 this Saturday, and Spectrum TV Channel 96 this Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Brand new program coming up, and we're working our interview with Chit Chat and Shanaz and Ken. I know Ken can hold down the fork, so I could disappear. Where is Navin? Navin! Indrani, good night to you. my boyfriend, 4 years. Happy anniversary. Wow.
ऐसा लगता है
तेरी चूड़ियों का रंग अच्छा लगता है, तेरी मेहंदी का रंग पक्का लगता है, लाखों में तू एक सनम हो, सच्चा लगता है, हाय सच्चा लगता है।
चूड़ी खनकाई रे, बोलो कैसा लगता है, हो मेहंदी रचाई रे, बोलो कैसा लगता है।
तेरी चूड़ियों का रंग अच्छा लगता है, तेरी मेहंदी का रंग पक्का लगता है, लाखों में तू एक सनम हो, सच्चा लगता है, हाय सच्चा लगता है।
चूड़ी खनकाई रे, बोलो कैसा लगता है।
I hope you guys had a fantastic Monday. Ken, how was your Monday? I was late for the studio again because, Monday is such a hectic day when you're, coming back from a long weekend. And I'm not in the office as much as I used to. So, of course, Monday is a little swamp for me. So, how was your Monday?
Well, I was very busy today at work, because what happened, we have a state audit coming up next week, Monday, so we have to tighten up on all the paperwork, and I had a lot of filing to do too. So, but thank God, it wasn't too bad. I came home and I slept most of the time until time to come to show.
Well, Friday night, I organized all my filing and I left it on my desk with a smiley face from my assistant.
Oh, beautiful.
So I said, have yourself a nice weekend, but she already knew that was for her Saturday chore. So Monday, that was not part of our thing. But guys, COVID is still something that is very essential right now. Very, very scary. And the hospital we're working with, that we're associated with, is actually having new cases of COVID. And guess what? The numbers, the age is not just 45 or 55 and 65 anymore. What's the youngest person that you are aware of that had COVID?
Well, I'm not too sure exactly, but I know children do get it, but not like adults. And I know a lot of adults get it. But I know, Shanaz, a lot of families who get this thing, like 4 or 5 people in a family get it. So we still have to be very careful what we're doing.
That's right. One of our patients actually walked in and his entire family have COVID. And, they have teenagers, his wife, they're like 50 years old. But you guys, it's still very, very serious out there. Wash your hands, sanitize, stay away from folks that you're not sure of, because guess what? Either one of us could have COVID without knowing. I'm not, without any symptoms, no coughing, no fever, no chills, but we could still have COVID in our body, right?
Absolutely. So not everybody has the same kind of signs and symptoms. So despite that, it's still good to wear your mask, wash your hand, and practice all the safety precautions. Also, we know that Pfizer and Moderna are both in the third or fourth trial phase in the vaccine. And there is so many arguments about people are so scared of taking the vaccine because they're saying that, there is a lot of problems with the vaccine. But the truth of the matter is we don't know exactly what's the problem with the vaccine. If we take it, if we're going to get blind or any other thing. But what we are hearing from the trial is that you will get some only minor side effects, such as injection site pain, like most injection, fatigue and headache. And like I was thinking,
symptoms,
right. So what I plan to do, I plan to take the vaccine when it comes out.
Do you believe, personally, working in the healthcare field, I know I work with nurses, and they're saying that they don't believe that enough studies have done. They didn't conduct enough studies. They didn't, So let the first batch get it, and let's see how that works out. So how many of you would like the first batch of vaccine? Maybe we'll give it away. It's for free, right?
Yes. But, Shanaz, in my point of view, and this is my own personal opinion, it's not to go on anybody else. And I am saying this because I had the COVID-19 for nearly going on 2 months, and
scary as hell.
Exactly.
You don't want to be back down there
and
anywhere.
I don't want to go back there no more. So I prefer to have the vaccine, get a little bit sick, like a little few flu-like symptoms or signs, and you know what? I could continue to work with the patients Also, what we know, Shanaz, I think I'll try my very best to see if I can video come on Facebook Live when I'm going to take that needle. But I don't like needles. I hate injections altogether, despite I give very good injections.
Oh wow. Well, if it's saving your life, it's a life-saving vaccine. You have to look at do you want to expose yourself having a chance of getting COVID and not survive it, or you want to take the vaccine, suffer a few days of side effects, minimal side effects that they're saying, and then survive knowing that your body is protected, you're building up immunity. John Namat said, I'll take the vaccine, but after everybody else took it first. So, hey, Apache Warrior, greetings to you. How you doing? John Namat, thank you very much. Good evening to each and every one of you. If you guys have something to say, let's hear it right now.
And, also, Shanaz, what I want to say is that the vaccine, it will become an important tool in preventing the spread of the COVID-19, because there is so much evidence, and we are seeing it on Facebook. There's so many people who are not following the protocol in this. They're not wearing their masks.
Let's talk about everybody's wearing their masks. Almost 100% of the population is actually wearing their mask. But how much of them would you say is actually wearing it correctly?
Like we were talking today, Shanaz, some people wear it under their nose and so on. But I think I know the correct way I use it when I'm at work. This is what I do. I just cover up my nose, and I cover up myself, my entire under my eyes, my whole nose, my mouth. I don't wear it like this, like what I'm going to show you. I don't do this.
That's a no-no. That's just wearing it fashion. That's just saying I'm wearing a mask, but you're wearing it improper. So now let's go with one of those surgical masks that most of us are wearing, because it's more comfortable, as everyone is saying. It has a bone right on top here because you squeeze it in. It's meant to squeeze in so nothing can seep through it.
Right,
this is a very strong bone. I know someone actually did a live video saying that there is something in here that the government is tampering with you guys. It's not true. I must tell you that. It's, these masks not coming from China. They're coming right from the United States. So it's not any kind of electric gadget in here.
Shanaz, I'm hearing so many things, and I'm kind of like, Jesus, can people go think like this? I don't know. And this is my personal take on things. You know what? I think it's a sickness like the flu vaccine, the flu, how we had it before. And I think that people try to do things, and accidentally this probably came about while they were in the lab. Things like this do happen. So I don't think that anybody willfully go and they make this. And that's, like I said, it's my personal opinion.
You mean to create the COVID?
Right. Like, by accident it probably started.
Well, we don't know for sure, but we do know it affected thousands, and a lot of folks are dying. Speak of death right now, the holiday season is upon us, so I'm sure a lot of you will still be in a little sadness, a little depressed, because, we just lost a loved one from COVID. If you guys are in, sad or depressed, think about the goodness. It's hard to think of anything good when you just lost your mother through COVID, your brother by COVID. So, guys, think of the good side. Always look at a brighter picture, Hey, Sunita Prashad, good night to you. Thank you guys for being here. Good night to Rory Jagdeo, everyone. Hey, Autumn Kumar, good night, good night. Everyone, I was on Liberty Avenue this weekend. Actually is wearing a mask, but they are wearing it incorrectly. They're having it under their nose, so we don't need it under our nose. We need it above your nose, because tell us why. We're protecting our lungs.
That's right. We need to protect our lungs because, with the COVID-19, it's damaging your lungs. Also, you can get pneumonia, and that's not what you want to get. And today I learned someone very special to me was diagnosed with COVID-19 today. We'll talk off the air.
Doctors also get COVID, because they are there. And as much as our doctors, I've seen them working, gloves, mask, face shield, outer shield, gown. So how can you say doctors should not have COVID? They have antibodies, a weak immune system, just as we do, but they still have to be out there, a frontline worker doing their job. So we can't say, oh, maybe he didn't sanitize his hand as he should. He didn't eat as well. Well, it all goes with your immune system,
Yeah, and when I got it, I know people were saying that how come he's a nurse and he got it.
Doctors get it. So
doctors
why
get it. Everybody could get it.
Frontline workers tend to getting it.
Also, Shanaz, during the time when I got COVID-19, which was April the 7th, the truth of the matter is, I did not even have masks to wear at my job. We were now getting to hear
PPE
about
was
this.
a little scarce,
Exactly.
right?
So we
There
were
was
not
limited
getting
PPE.
even thermometers. We were not getting to buy. So and I used to take my shirt and cover my face when I'm going in the patient room. So that was no good at all. And never think that you could not get anything in this world.
Everyone could
Anyone
get it.
could get anything.
It doesn't choose the rich. It doesn't choose the poor. It doesn't say doctors or nurses. Everyone could get it. Doctors are armor. Hey, Nalo and Kishore Gopal, good night to you, Nalo. Thank you very much. Amanda, how you doing? Good night to each and every one of you locked on from Guyana and around the world. It's good. Let's hear your experience on COVID, guys. Now there are plenty of PPE, but before, no one expected COVID to be spreading as much as it spread before.
Let me read what your boy Apache Warrior said. He's the bedroom bully and like to talk. Let's see what he says.
He think he's a bedroom bully. There's a difference of being and thinking that you are.
But
it's good for his, let him think he is.
But his wife is not saying anything, so I want to believe that silence means yes. Anyway, our good friend Sunita Prashad is watching all the way from Florida. And one thing with Sunita, I always like to, when I wake up in the morning, you see her picture on Facebook. She is so refreshing, such a beautiful woman, and always something positive. I always look forward for something positive on Facebook when I go there.
And that's what we should be as human beings, uplift each other. Don't bring down anyone, especially when it comes to women. And I appreciate week after week, and I appreciate all the females in our life more than the males, and I will say that because it's woman empowerment. So thank you, Sunita, for always joining us live here. I appreciate John, I appreciate Apache Warrior, but I appreciate Veronica, and I appreciate Nimrati Dat and all our females, and we get the support from our females.
Yes, all of them do, especially the females, and I'm so glad we have the men that's cheering us on too, like John Lamont, as you said, us Apache Warrior and so on, and Harry and so on.
Red Sonia, good night. And we have a lot of females, and I want to applaud you guys because you know what? We also have, and I've seen so many folks sharing the wrong stuff, sharing stuff that that doesn't matter, that things that wouldn't create a laughing mood for me, that why are we sharing nonsense? But sometimes you don't know who needs that laugh for the day, who need that good morning, but share something that will benefit someone else, like information.
And Shanaz, one of the things that we haven't said a lot and people are not talking about, as we know, COVID, this is a couple months now, it's in around. One of the things that, like I said, we are not talking about is the mental health of people. A lot of people are depressed, are worried what's going to happen tomorrow. A lot of people home, you will have abuse increase. You will have people drinking much more alcohol,
they're turning
drugs,
to alcohol to
and so
ease
on.
their pain. They're getting angry because you're in the house 24/7 with your spouse. You guys are having arguments. So what can we do? And I know it's good to take a break. You don't have to be in the same room as your spouse 24/7. You could read a book. You could go in the kitchen. You could, I see a lot. And Facebook made so many folks famous. They're doing live cooking. They're doing live dancing. They're doing live music. But, I look at them and I look at folks sometimes. And I try not to judge because I said, you don't know what that girl is going through. So if she wants to dance on Facebook, let it be.
I see a lot of girls dancing on Facebook, and they're getting a lot of views, to be very honest with you. So I think that's what our people, they like.
I think they want to see Ken dance. So if Ken start dancing, our viewership will go right up to the roof.
But they would prefer to see you dance.
Oh my goodness, I don't think we could take all of that on Facebook right
We'll
now.
rock the world anyway.
Definitely. And nothing is wrong with dancing. We all need to dance because while you're dancing, it releases,
serotonin in the brain.
That's right. It releases all the happy hormones that we need. And right now, if you could cheer up someone, go ahead and do it. Rohani, good night to you. How you doing? Rohan Naidu, thank you very much. John Nimmat, thank you very much. Guys, join the conversation. Let's hear what's going on. The beautiful Rosie Mahadeo, Indrani Gopal, good night. Radha Totaram, and each and every one of you locked on. Thank you guys for being a part of our Monday night. Debbie Suku, how you guys are doing? Share the link, share the love. Rishi Rambali, thank you very much. I thought your favorite color was black, but hey, I love black. What can I say? Black is always a go-to color. It's an easy color to wear. Amanda Ramjit, good night to you.
I see Naresh Hanuman is saying he's watching all the way from Tampa, Florida. Good to have you on. Rodney Wilson, he's just kidding. He said, "Your feelings, you're hurting my feelings, Dr. Shanaz. She is Dr. Love." And as we are talking about all of that, Shanaz, I asked you this question quite a bit, and I heard it was going on. I read it was going on Facebook. Now you're a wife, you're a mother, and you have a husband, and I'm a husband. I like us when we talk about different things that would affect our community. I will give my input, and I'm going to ask you for your honest input. Now, Shanaz, is only the woman should be the one cooking in the kitchen or being in the kitchen washing the dishes and so on? Let me get your take and then I'll give you my take.
Well, guys who spend time in the kitchen receive much more loving from their wife. What can I say? Appreciation. Well, hello there, Mr. Rodney Wilson. Thank you. Hey, Naresh, thank you very much, Rodney. I hope you visit us pretty soon for the holiday season. Apache Warrior, good night to you. I appreciate you this much. What can I say? Just this much. I appreciate you. And I'm not sure if Apache Warrior is a good cook, but
I think he is.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Why? Did he post up a good picture
No.
of somebody's
From the
food?
kind of guy he is, seemed that kind of loving guy. And then you said he's a bedroom bully, so I don't know.
Maybe bedroom and kitchen is two different places. You can cook in the bedroom, you can cook in the kitchen. You're cooking two different things.
But I get to learn about. I know he is your friend, and I get to know him couple weeks, a little more. And one of the things that I admire really about Apache Warrior, and I'm glad I get to know him. He's a kind man, and his wife also is a kind woman. What a great couple we have supporting us on Facebook. I know if I call him now for $100, he is going to send it.
Yes,
I can tell you
definitely.
that, but I would not call him like that. If you know
Because
what
he's
I mean.
also a charity person. He's doing so much for Guyana and so much for the schools in Guyana without even posting a picture, because that's coming from him, his personal donation. And when it comes to anyone else doing a non-for-profit show, he's always there to support. He will drive 3 hours, 4 hours just
You're
to
right,
be on
yes.
your non-for-profit show, just so you could get support and raise funds for whatever the organization is doing. So good night to you. Hey, Sunita Prashad, good night, good night. Salman Rahman, thank you very much. Haresh, how are you doing? And that is Naresh from Tampa. Good night to you. Let's go back to
Kitchen.
Cooking in the kitchen. We can cook a lot of places. We could cook in the living room too, but what are we cooking? Cooking in the kitchen. Guys who cook and help out in other chores receive more love and appreciation.
But do you really think that a man should really help?
Well, should a woman go out there and get a 9-to-5 job?
Well, let me give you my perspective in the whole thing, and I know I'm speaking for...
If you don't want to help do the dishes, well, then buy disposable plates and make sure when you eat, you don't put your plate in the sink.
You know,
Wash
Shana,
your own plates if you're not going to do the dishes. And if you don't want to do the laundry, wash your own laundry too.
I'm a blessed man.
Yes, you have somebody to do it for you.
I'm a blessed man.
And your wife is not just a homemade.
Right. She works
homemaker.
too.
She has a career. So we all have a career, but guess what? At the end of the day, we're all cooking. And we always say relationship is not 50-50. It could be 60-40. Whatever works, As long as something is working and you're not taking advantage of one person. I have a cook. I have a chauffeur. I have a 24-hour assistant. What can I say? When you have somebody, sometimes you have to appreciate them.
Yeah.
And get support. You give and you get. If you support your spouse, your wife, she'll support you.
You know what I find, right, Shan, and I'm going to give it from the man perspective. Shanaz, I believe in my heart that every situation is very different. And like you said before, whatever works for each other. Now, in terms of my situation, I work 2 jobs. I was doing 2 full-time jobs for many years, and now I'm doing 1 full-time job and 1 part-time job. Plus, I'm doing 2 radio shows, and there's a lot of reading and so on entails in all of this. But I'm very lucky that Geeta and I doesn't look into what I do or what she does.
Didn't do this,
right, we don't do that. And then we have more ladies live in our home.
They do contribute.
They do contribute. Geeta have Vishwani, and then she not Vishwani, Varshini that helps, and then she have her mom that helps sometimes, and her sister-in-law that really do help sometimes, most of the time. But so that's where I don't really have to do nothing much, and I still live a traditional life from Guyana. I come home. I work, like I said, sometimes I work 16 hours a day, 16 hours. Tomorrow I'll be working 16 hours. Then I have to wake up the next morning at 6 minutes to 6, get up and start working again at 7 o'clock. until 3 o'clock. When I come home, I am so damn tired.
Wow, that's a lot of working. I was asking one of my assistants if you want to work this weekend, and she said, I don't live to work. I work to live.
That's a good thing. So yeah, whatever work for each other, I think that's a good thing. And there is no tension really. But what I find though, Gita likes when I'm in the kitchen. And you said it right. I don't. That's when I get a lot of loving from her. And I says, wait, I'm gonna bring a bed now inside of this kitchen.
Wow. Why
that
not
would
turn
make
it
different.
up? The heat, the stove. You know,
what I'm saying?
there'll be a lot of heat in there. So I feel like it's appreciation. I don't expect. As a man, you shouldn't expect your wife to be in the kitchen slaving and cooking, especially when she's just coming home from a 9-to-5 job. I know it's better to eat home-cooked meals, but if you could contribute, you both are working, why not eat? Many hands make light work. So if you could just chop the seasoning, chop the pumpkin, wash the rice, just show some initiative that you are there to support her.
And the other way, I'm going to go a little wickedness here. And also, Shanaz, you don't want your wife to burn herself out all day. And when she go to bed, all she do is fall asleep, and she don't want to sleep. So I want her to have some energy too. You know what I'm saying?
So, help her out. And guess what? Many hands make it easy.
We are going to enjoy life together in the day.
Instead of cooking for an hour, you'll cook for half an hour, and then Ken have an extra half an hour.
Right, absolutely. So guys, whatever works for you,
think wisely,
do it.
Guys. Think wisely. So I know a lot of guys are complaining right now because they're not having the affection in the bedroom. And you know what? I have a friend who was actually filing for divorce, and this is so sad. I'm not sure if he expects his wife to do the laundry and the chores, but I know most of the time he's doing he helped out around the house. So, and he felt so unappreciated. He's like, Shanaz, I do the laundry sometime. I will cook. I'll take care of the kids. I iron all their school uniform, but my wife doesn't show any appreciation. You should appreciate and split the work half and half. Just let her know I could do this week. You don't have to be doing the laundry. You don't have to be known as a laundry guy. And I feel so sad and so sorry for him because, I know he's a good dad. He's a good husband. And still he get to sleep on the sofa. Come on.
Really? I'm not sleeping on a sofa. I work too hard to buy a bed.
Of course, for 6 months without getting any affection from your wife. Isn't that abnormal, I would say?
And, you talk about that just now. You were saying that, Shanaz, I think in every relationship, we want our partner to tell us how great we are, how good we are, and a little goodness, tap on the shoulder, goes a far way. Let your wife know that, I love you. Thanks for taking care of me. Thanks for ironing my clothes. So into the husband should tell his wife good things.
Your wife is not obligated to iron your clothes. It's your clothes. You iron it yourself.
But you see, when you give, I always believe that when you treat a woman good and you give her love, she give you the world.
That's right. So guys, we encourage you to be the best spouse you could be. Be the best husband you could be. Hey, Sunita, saying good night to you. I would love to get your input on this one. Do you believe guys should help out around the house? In the kitchen especially, not everyone would like to cook, Ken. It's not an easy task to go in the kitchen and cook, especially when you're cooking for a big family. So, as much as I enjoy fried plantain and some little fast food that my husband could make. Of course, he could make a lasagna, he could do anything else, but it's not easy to cook for a lot of folks at the same
But one
time.
of the good things in the United States, especially in Richmond Hill, there's so many restaurants that caters for a Guyanese population, Trinidadian population.
That's right. Speaking of the restaurants, as I said, I was on Liberty Avenue over the weekend. And the restaurant lines, I feel like no one is cooking at home anymore. It's the weekend. Maybe they're just off from their job. But everyone is complaining about this pandemic. They're broke. So what are we doing? If we are thinking economical, what are we doing buying a meal from a restaurant? One meal sometime in a restaurant could buy me groceries or vegetables for 3 days. Think about it. A nice fried rice for $15, right?
But Shanaz, if I be honest
with you, 3 vegetables and you're eating healthier. So guys, avoid eating out, leave it for now and then.
But then when you look at it, I think of it sometimes like, man, I not too long ago, last week, I eat some good food. One of my Trinidadian friend, I went to buy some food somewhere down, it's Lefferts Boulevard. Is it Trilicity or Trin City? I'm now big enough Trin City. I never met anyone in there, but girl, my friend from Trinidad went there, and look, my Trinidadian accent came out now. She went and she bought some nice mango curry, And
Well,
like,
I actually got 2 boxes of mango just to make mango curry this weekend.
I'll get some when you bring. And oh my God, I enjoyed that little chat, the pepper sauce with the mango curry and the roti. And the truth of the matter is, Shanaz, if you really want to look at it, and we have to pay attention. And you were saying that the food is expensive. If you pay like, let's say, $6-7 for a plate of food, and you get a roti, $10, you can eat it for 2-3 times because you get a lot of.
For one person, it might be economical,
Right.
but if you have to buy food for dinner for an entire family at
Yeah,
home,
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
going
a
to
lot.
cost you $30 for that dinner.
Yeah, because
You
you
know.
get a lot of curry, and the roti is so big that you
You
could
could feed
eat.
the
the-
whole family.
Yeah,
That's
you
not
could
roti,
4
that's
times.
bust up shut. Roti is normally small.
Right, right.
So, guys, if we're thinking economical, I know folks who have laundry services, they have folks picking up their laundry and taking it, bring it back. You are home not doing anything. You're complaining of not having a job, but still you're complaining of no funds. These are stuff that you could cut back on. It's more expensive to have the guy pick up your laundry than to go there and do it yourself.
Talking about that, Shanaz, let's shift a little bit. Since our DJ is not here, I know because of the COVID-19, some people lost their job. They're not working. We know that the government is giving people money like $1,200. They get stimulus package. Also, we know that people are getting like $600 a week, and some people did not want to return to work because they make much more money that the government is giving them. Do you think that people should really pay their rent and their mortgage? What's your take, my dear?
I believe, and that was a discussion, we were in the debate yesterday with all these city council members who are running for city council and district leaders. One of the candidates said she was going to support the bill where she supports small businesses to get a monthly stimulus check from the government for $1,000. She's also supporting a bill that would give you guys, tenants, a break from rent. Now, who's giving us a break as landlords? So I'm giving you a break from paying your rent, but you're still getting your unemployment check, which
Right.
most folks are saying it's more than your paycheck that you are working for. If you are getting $600 a job, unemployment check is more than that $600. And if you outspend your budget, we all should be saving. And not because of COVID now, we should be in a deficit. I mean, we all went in our bank account.
Absolutely. And Shanaz, the other thing is that the landlord will have to pay their mortgage. Where are they going to get that money from? And we can see that if it's legitimate reasons that you can't afford to pay your rate, your mortgage. Or your rent or whatever it is. But guys, please pay your rent. That landlord or the owner of the house will have to pay their mortgage. Whether if they don't get like a 2-month grace period, they will have to pay it sometime or the other.
Right.
And even
it
before
goes
now,
back at the end of the mortgage. So you might
Right.
get September and October, 2 months break, but it goes back and you still have to get in your pocket to pay that, which is your tenants are using more electric bills is going up because they're home. The water bill is going up because they're home. Now they're cooking and all that noise and you're home not doing anything, but your landlord is still suffering.
absolutely.
Taxes are going up. Every time I open my mortgage statement, it's like my tax just went up $100.
And guess what? I was listening to 10 Minutes this morning, and I'm hearing that the train price will go up, the tolls will go up. So it is sad. I'm looking how now to come back to Queens and work full time, not to work in Manhattan anymore, because it's like $200 a month I'm paying
And
to go to the
subways.
city.
Right. Hey, Rodney, thank you very much. Rodney said relationships should be 100% even. Well, sometimes it doesn't go that way, but, we appreciate the 60-40. Sometimes it works. Hey, Raymond Bacchus, good night to you. Let's read Apache Warrior's comment, seeing that you're so...
Where is he? Let's see.
It's on screen.
It's on, no, I can't see that far.
I don't believe a woman should go to work all day and then come home, clean the house, cook, etc., while the man is sitting on the sofa, of course, watching TV. I think she should clean the house before she leaves. So the guy should be sitting on the sofa in a clean house with food on the table, right? Yes, that's in a fantasy world.
Hey, his wife should get the banner for him tonight.
Right? I feel like if I have to work and be the breadwinner and you're sitting at home, believe me, when the tables turn, you better make sure dinner's on the table. You better believe my clothes is ironed and the laundry is done.
Wow.
So, just if you were home,
Right,
if
right.
the male is home,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you should chip in and do some work. But half and half. I think, we all work. We have a career. we should not leave work for the spouse to come home and do, and we're sitting at home watching TV.
You know, Shanaz, previously, and I've never said before in my previous relationship what I used to do. I would clean the house because I was home like 4 days a week. I would clean the house, even to the in the bedroom, clean up where they have the lipstick and everything, wipe it up nice, and light my little candle. I like scented stuff and so on.
Romantic guy.
Yeah, but the bad thing is, like you said, like when the wife comes, like nothing was
So
done.
unappreciative.
So you know, and I never really talk about those things. But as we're talking tonight, you know, things different.
And it burns you out to see that you're putting so much effort into this relationship, and this person is just not giving you any appreciation, you know.
Yeah, and we all want some love and
Yeah,
appreciation.
show some love and appreciation. And John Nemeth said, put a hammock in the kitchen. That's where all the cooking's going to happen. And he also wrote 6 months without any affection from his wife. That's a no-no. Who's
Yeah.
going to survive? Who's
But-
in their right mind will survive 6 months without any affection?
You know, Shanaz, you might be very surprised to hear a lot of couples now, they doesn't have any kind of intimate relationship. Some people have sex once a month or once every 6 months.
My
Some
goodness.
don't even sleep together. They sleep in separate rooms. There is so many things. And what we have talked before, you probably forgot a little bit, but what we have said before is whatever work in your relationship, let it roll. But you have to be very mindful of both of you in the relationship, because you don't want, and Lord, I shouldn't have said this one, I'm going to go say now, you don't want a wife who want to have sex at least 3 times a week and the husband want to have sex once every 6 months. It's not
Which
going to
guy
work.
in their right mind? I don't know of any guy
Shanaz,
who would
there
want
is
sex
things-
once per month right
Shanaz,
now.
there is
No
things
way.
going out there. You don't know. You probably will have. I'll have to school you a little bit after this show.
Once
but
a
do
month?
they have people who live like that?
Well, I know because of the work schedule, because I was talking to one of our RNs, and her husband also is an RN. So with their schedule, you know, it's surprisingly they will find each other at home sometimes. So for months, can you imagine that? And I never choose a career, or I never choose my schedule. I must say, I work whenever, Mr. Rodney, I work whenever I feel like. What can I say? But I look at folks that have to be there 9 to 5, and their spouse have to be there 5 till midnight. What kind of life
Yeah.
is that? You know, you're working around the clock. You're not seeing each other. So appreciation does go a far way. You could leave a note. You could show appreciation in other ways.
And I see that you have some good friends on. You have John Nimit. You have also Reverend
Hey,
Jack
Munish,
Lass.
play Ram Prasad. And Munish don't play, but he got your last name, Ram Prasad, I
I
must
see
say.
you have Sonia Chandani on, your good friend. So go ahead and say hello to some of your good friends then.
Hey, good night, good night. And I know Apache Warrior said he wants to be a better husband, so he asked me for my apron. So guys, you're gonna see Apache Warrior in the kitchen, right? He's gonna be
You
cooking.
will bring him in a day for a lesson.
Yes, I could give him a cooking lesson. Good night to each and every one of you. The famous John from Queens. You know, John is a good cook also. He goes to Burger King. He would warm up the food, and he thinks that he make a whole big meal. Or he actually make pasta with sausage. So it's
Oh,
good
really?
to make a try in the kitchen, guys. You never know what you could do. Make a nice salad if you have to. The beautiful Sonia Chandani, good night to you. Sonia also reached out for our coat drive, and she'll be donating some coats to the Queens Community Lions Club. We are doing our coat drive. Mr. John Namat, good night to you. Mr. Madri, how are you doing, sir? Good night, good night. Radha Totaram, Sonia Chandani said bacon shark is real good. And guess what? Not a lot of folks can actually make bacon shark. So certain things we like to get from a restaurant.
Well, I would like to say this, and I know they will take it differently, but I want to say hello to my good friend, Radhika Jaikaran Ripal. She always watches our show, and then the other thing is she watches back the next day. So it's good to have people like her. You know what I like to eat too? Bake and saltfish. Fish always sweet, Shanaz.
Wow. They said it's saltfish sweeter than pork.
Jesus
Apache
Christ.
Warrior, I need him to
Let
answer that
he
one.
answer that question. Pork always sweet. Both of them sweet.
I don't eat pork, and
But
whatever.
I don't like my saltfish too salty though.
Mr. Madre is probably having some fun. He said he
Oh,
needs
he
some
could make.
Gale Baca.
Yeah, he could make some good saltfish too. I
Really?
think so. Yes, I think he said that before.
Hey, Rita, saying good night to you. Thank you guys very much. John Namat, I love some curry mango right now. Also, I love jam mango. When last you had some red mango?
Hey, for a long time I didn't have that.
That's
Probably
right.
you should do one of that on your cooking
We
show.
will have, guys, if you would like to come, and you know what makes a good curry mango? I know our cook used to make it with the cinnamon and clove. It gives it a really good flavor.
Wow.
Apache Warrior said that would be nice.
Yeah, you could bring him down after the COVID and let him cook, and we go have. I have a good suggestion. You let him cook and let his wife, and I don't want to say his wife's name, I don't know, but let she come with a bell now. Behind every mistake
I
he
think
made.
there's a song coming up. There's a music video SMS directing with a Belna and Apache Warrior. He might be getting the Belna.
A bell and chowky?
Something like that. Hey, good evening to the beautiful Mahima Katari from India. The famous John from Queens. Good evening, good evening. This Saturday, watch Shanaz Musical Sensation on Verizon Fios, Channel 477 and Spectrum TV, Channel 96. Guys, check it out.
I got something good to say too. I see Rudy Ramatar say he could cook. My next question to you is, Shanaz, out of man or woman, who could cook the best?
Well, you know,
Talk to
guys
me.
really could cook. If they just give it a chance, they are better cooked than women, because I feel like us women cut corners when it comes to the onion and the garlic, but my husband just pours it all in there, seasoning up that meat, or put the love inside of it, and don't cut back. I went to so many Jandy, and the 7 curry is just blend. It's like I asked myself, or I asked the cook, are you not supposed to use onion and garlic, because all the food is just like blend. I like my food tasty.
Me too.
Yes.
I like when I watch. I remember you bring some gilbaka curry for me one time.
And I do make a good Gale Baka curry with green mango, a lot of tomatoes, and some saijan.
Absolutely, saijan inside. Yeah.
So I do make a good Gale Baka, and I have a friend who actually brought me half of a Gale Baka from Guyana a few months ago. So I'm in need of another Gale Baka. Hey, Pamela Jetters, good night. Thank you guys for joining us. Good evening to each and every one of you. Sunita Singh. Let's read Sunita's comment. You know, you met Sunita recently. She's a wonderful singer. And hey guys, speaking of singer, we have a Parang Christmas live in the SMS studio on December 19. And yes, we're waiting for some flyers to be out there pretty soon.
I see Sunita Singh says it's a healthy for both husband and wife to do things together. That way they get to spend quality time together and even strengthen their relationship. It's always good learning together and do new things together. It makes a healthy relationship. I totally agree with her. And after you cook in, you eat, and then you go and relax in bed. And you have some fine dessert.
Right. You know, it stirs things up from the kitchen.
Jesus of Nazareth. You causing problem here now.
And going back to the landlord problem, Mr. Madras said, I'm a landlord, so I know the consequences. So, guys, I insist, if you guys are getting a check from your unemployment, and if you're off from your job for 6 months now, do you think it's a good time to start looking for another job? We don't have to wait for the results on that job. As we said, changes are good. You know, get another job. Maybe it's an opportunity for new changes.
And you know, sometimes, Shanaz, changes is good. One of the things I've always encouraged people who work in the United States, especially if you're in a union, you want to work and vested your time. When you get a job, you want to make sure that at the end of your tenure, whatever, how long you work, you find out how long it takes for you to become, what you call it in the workplace, where you can get a pension. Oh, the word is vested. You want to make sure you know how much years you have to work until you become vested. And when you're vested for a couple of years, you know that at the end of that 5 or 10 years, you will be able to get a pension from your company, which is a good thing to do.
And it's always good to work for company who have those
Benefits.
rewards and benefits, because you're working for 30 years for a company. You retire tomorrow due to age or disability, you're not getting nothing from them.
You only get what you pay into them, like 401k and so on.
Right, and it's good. I started 20 years ago. I started with my company, and I opened a 401k. Since then, I also opened 529 plan. I believe in saving. I don't like hand-me-down. I don't like anyone giving me nothing. You know, save, and save for tomorrow on a rainy day. I see a lot of folks working hard. Where are you saving the money? Are you just sending it back home to support your family and your friends? What about tomorrow? We all need to save for tomorrow, right?
That's right. I see Arjuna Madras say, burn the onion proper and bunje the masala good. One of the things I always like, though, Shanaz, I love a lot of seasoning in my food, as we were saying. Rosetta Ramsood, good evening to you too.
Dolly Shahid, Salman Rahman, Sunita Prashad, thank you very much. Sunita Singh, we love your comment. Thank you. Mr. Madre, I am the
men
cook.
are the best cook too. And Rita Singh says, all saltfish is extra sweet as long as you wash out the salt.
That's right, and wash it out with some warm water. Bibi Khalil, good night to you. John Nima, thank you very much. The famous John from Queens. That's right. That's right. A beautiful interview coming up with a beautiful actress from India. And hey, when 2021 come around and COVID is gone, we're going to have Mahima Kotari coming to NYC. That's right. By the famous John from Queens. So big things are happening. You always have to be optimistic and keep up the hope and the faith. Never loses hope.
Also, I see Dolly Shahid is watching us. Always supportive. Good to have you on, my dear. Bibi Khalil, good to have you on too, my dear.
And we will have a financial planner, someone to speak on finance, because we all could use some advice when it comes to finance. There's needs and there's wants, and we all could spend money on things we want, but do we actually need these things?
Also, I see we have Salman Rahman. Good to have you on. I love to know where we have some of our viewers watching from.
Radhika Dripal, thank you very much. Arjuna Madre, he's a good cook also. Hey Rosetta, how you doing? Good evening, good evening.
Pamela says, you are my girlfriend. I love to cook home.
DJ Rudy on Island Zone Radio. Guys, you're locked on to Island Zone Radio. DJ Rudy was rocking earlier. And I love that when I'm on www.islandzoneradio.com, you never know who's passing through. We do have a formatted program and we have selected DJs on certain days, but you never know who will pass through. And today, DJ Rudy was on rocking the set. We also had DJ Skype on earlier, and I hadn't heard Skype playing in a really long time, so it's awesome having fantastic DJs on Island Zone Radio.
Let's who's on. We just had Vimala Prasad locked on. Let's ask Vimala, who you think is the best cook, a man or a woman?
Vimala, that question is for you, and I know Mr. Rodney Wilson is a good cook also. Mr. Madri, how you doing? Rita Singh, good evening to you. December 19 is our live parang, Xmas parang, something for you guys in the SMS studio. Mr. Madre, good evening to you.
Avita Danraj, good evening to you too.
Mohammed Rahim, how you doing? Good night to you. Leela, good night, good night. Sharing is caring, guys, so hit share on that one. Sonia Chandini said, Ken, you're spicy tonight.
I'm always spicy. I have to remember to behave. I'm on the radio, people's watching, but Shanaz know I'm always spicing up things. Like yesterday, I wrote my boss. She was writing something up on Facebook, and I said to her, you are beautiful. And then she said, you always makes me laugh and you always make me smile. So that's a good thing we want to do.
It's good. You have to brighten someone's day and be an asset to someone. Always leave a person or a situation better than you find it. Hey, David, and good night to you. How you doing? Thank you guys for joining us on Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. Where is Selecta Bolt? I should say it louder on the speaker. Where is Selecta Bolt? We need him on the ones and the twos. Rosetta, good night to you. John, thank you very much.
I see we have Pretty Prasad, good evening and thanks for watching. And Avita said a man is a good cook. That's good.
That's right. And John Nimmet said, get another job. Don't rely just on free money, guys. It will end eventually, but you need to get a stepping stone, start out looking, job hunting. And that's something I'm working with our community leaders to find. If I know someone looking for a job, like I posted something yesterday as I was driving by Liberty Avenue, Little Guyana Bakery on 124th Street was looking for a cleaner. They're always looking for cooks. So, if I see something, I like to share it because you never know who might need that job and who it could help.
That's a good thing, Shanaz.
And Sunita Singh said, I agree. One thing she should learn from this pandemic is saving and taking care of our health. Hey, my beautiful friend Chitra or Bindranath, good night to you. Nanda Prasad, how you doing? Thank you guys for joining us. And Mr. Salman Rahman is locked on to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken from the Bronx. I still have a few T-shirts I have to get to the post office, but because of my schedule, and you know what, I hate court days. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm in the court. You have to be up so early. When I get out, post office is closed, so
Vimala said it's hard for her to say who is the best cook. But she said to get into a man's heart is
through his stomach.
That's right. So be a good cook.
Well, I think it goes both ways, to get to my heart. If you're a good cook, it will work.
Suppose someone let's say that you weren't married before and a guy invited you home for dinner, let's say, and you see he laid a table out for you, Shanaz.
Wow,
with some
first
nice
impression
food.
makes a good, first impression counts. So, of course, no? Bolt said not because he could cook. So what if he's first impression could also go the opposite way. You know, they try to impress you, and the next thing you know, they don't know how to cook, they don't know how to speak to you, they don't respect you, and that all matters to me. But yeah, first impression, you know, sometimes you're like, wow, he could really cook. But I really didn't find any guy who could cook as well as my hubby.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful statement there you made.
Thank you. John Ahmed, good evening to you. Arvinda Kedarnauth, good night to you. Pretty Prasad, how you doing? Leela, thank you very much. Good night to each and every one of you, wherever you're locked on from. I hope you're having a good day. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and if you didn't have a good day today, well, let's be optimistic for tomorrow. Let's change up our routine, do something different, because we all want change, and change is good. We all want different results, but we have to be able to make the little changes, take a different route to work, stop and buy a coffee, stop and smell the rose, because self-care is important.
You know, Mistress Gita, may I say,
Oh, wow.
Mistress Gita Ramkissoon said in the shout box, I wonder if Kenneth can cook. Well, I believe I could eat better than I'll cook. That's why she is my wife. Anyway, I'm not going to go there now.
He's a better eater than a cook, right?
But anyway, Shanaz, I be very honest with you on a serious note that my mother made sure that I was able to cook a little bit. I could boil some rice, I could put chunky little curry and cook a little bit. I may not be the best cook, but I can survive. Because remember, when I came to the United States in 1990, I was able to do everything for myself, and that's the only time that I really realized how important that it is that my mother taught me to do laundry and to do everything. Because when I was a little boy, and my sisters and so on, my mother had the big basin. We had our clothes were soaked down in that basin, and we all sit around our mother, and she would give us she'll give me my underwear, my sister
You
and
do
the
your
underwear,
own.
and we wash our own clothes.
And that's
it
good.
was
That's
so good.
strengthening you as a man. You don't need, you're not dependent. You are independent. That brings me to one of my coworker, and you know, she doesn't like her son doing anything. He was 13 years old. He would get home from school, and she would get angry every day, picking up his book bag from here, picking up his socks from there. And one day as she was telling me this, I said, why don't you sit him down and tell him this is where your book bag goes.
Absolutely.
Your socks goes in your shoes. Your laundry goes in the bin. She's like, he's a man. Let him be like that. So I'm like, that trend will continue to his kids. Now his wife have to deal with that behavior unless you groom him. You know, she's like, well, my husband wasn't well groomed for me. I have to deal with that. He gets home, he's a mess, and I have to take care of him. So let my son be a mess for his wife.
No, that's very selfish.
That was very selfish.
If you're watching, you're very selfish. I think you should train your children to be better men for tomorrow, to be good husband. All right?
That's right. Avida, thank you very much. Salman Rahman, good night, good night. Hey, Dolly Shahid, how you doing? Thank you guys for being a part of our Monday night. And hey, Jesh is in the studio. Nalo and Kishore Gopal, how you doing? The beautiful Gita Ramprasad, she said Kenneth can cook, but you know, we all can, but sometimes we don't want to. Want and can is two different words. You don't want to cook, you can cook.
I can cook. I will survive. I'm not playing.
And the beautiful Nirmati Dot said, first impression is the lasting impression.
Also, it's good to have our friend Sheila Mangar sing, always supporting us from Suriname. Also, I want to say, Shanaz, I know this week that Gone the First was the first launch of the Ken Ramprasad show. I want
1 year, applause to you, an entire year. That was really good.
And also, Shanaz, not to cut you, but I want to say thank you very much too for being there for me, for your support, because without you, I would not have been this far in radio and TV sometimes.
Wow, I'm proud of myself because I like, as we all should be doing, push those who need the little push. If you see someone has a task and you always encourage everyone in your household, you look up to your kids and all the other kids and you tell them what potential they have, and you always be an aspiration, a motivator to tell them they could do better. And if you see someone could do better, motivate them. And sometimes, you know, we don't see what others are talent, what they're capable of. But if you tell them they can, it puts a note in their brain that they can do it. Motivation, guys. So, John, thank you very much. Curry, egg, and potato. That sounds really good. Sonia Chandini said, well, if you can't cook, at least you could help to prep. That's what I believe. You know, do the chopping, do the prepping, or do the laundry. But there's so much we could do. Thank you.
That's what we did in Guyana. The men always cut up the chicken and cut up things there. Well, it's a lot of sound here in the studio.
Yes, it is. We're in the SMS studio where I like everything loud.
This is like CNN in New York.
We like everything loud. And we have DJ Bolt. So while Bolt is here, let Bolt do what Bolt does best. Spinning and mixing for us. You're locked on to Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken. We'll be right back.
मुझको हुई न खबर चोरी चोरी छुप छुप कर मुझको हुई न खबर चोरी चोरी छुप छुप कर कब प्यार की पहली नजर है ले गई दिल ले गई ले गई दिल ले गई मुझको हुई न खबर चोरी चोरी छुप छुप कर
John from Queens said he's a really good cook. He can make peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He can also have Chef Boyardee. So John have a variety of Chef Boyardee in his kitchen. You know, when he wants to be a chef, he open a can, he put it in the microwave, and then he serve it. But you know what? That's still appreciated, you know?
Absolutely.
Because he's making an effort to do something. You do something, you know, with love. Hey, Sita Prasad, good night to you watching us from West Coast, Demerara. Abida Danraj.
Yes, I am from West Coast of Demerara too. I'm from Lenora, Sita Prasad.
And Avida Danraj said, man, cook better but lazy when have a wife that could cook for them. That's right. So maybe you shouldn't show them all your skills. And guys, help your wife in the kitchen. Help them doing other things as well. And beautiful Veronica Jaglal says, some people cripple their kids. Of course, they're not empowering them or motivating to be the best they could be. And in my house, I have all my kids doing different chores. And you know, the other day my daughters were arguing with my son, but you never did the dishes. And he said, but I do other things around the house. If you have to do the dishes, if I have to do the dishes, you have to take the garbage out. So I give them different chores and I expect them to do different chores. But it's also good to, you know, rotate the chores so you know what it feels like taking the garbage out. You know what it is to do, fold your own laundry, you know, cook. And he's a fantastic cook. My son is, oh my God, he's going to be 18 the 31st of December.
Oh, wow.
And I have an 18-year-old son who's in college, and he would make you an awesome breakfast.
But you look like 18.
Wow, you know, good living, good loving.
Ouch.
Your health is your wealth. Your health up here is very important to talk to somebody. And the best person to talk to is your spouse. You know, express yourself to them because they're living with you. They should be able to understand. And don't let anything bother you. We're all going through a pandemic. It's not just one family. It's not just yourself. It's nationwide. It's a national pandemic. We're all suffering. We might not say it or show it, but everyone is suffering in a different way.
That's right. That's right.
What's up?
No more voice. You
Mike,
are.
Mike this one, Mike this two, yes.
Sorry, guys. We just had a mute, but I don't know what happened there. But yes, you know, as parents, Shanaz, we want, as we have children, whether boys or girls, we want to make them as best husband, best children, best son, and let them aspire to do great things in life. Always encourage them, and I always sit and chat with my boys them to let them know how important it is to treat your wife good. But the good thing is with that, like my small son had said to me, Daddy, and he was telling his mom, he said that when I get big, I want to get a woman just like my mother. And
she's nurturing as a mother.
Yes.
She's nurturing as a spouse.
And he's 12 years old, and he said, we want to live just like you and mommy. And I said that was profound for my 12-year-old to say, right?
That's right, because you know what? You are their teacher. They are observing everything you guys are doing, the way you treat them. And affection, guys, I know in Guyana you're not accustomed to your parents hugging and kissing you, but you guys have a very affectionate relationship with your kids. And the first thing I will do after a shower, and you know, I raised my kids like this because working in a medical facility, I never would walk home and give my kids a hug after a shower, because I've been taking COVID since 20 years ago when I started to work in a medical facility, where washing your hands was a must, and wearing your face shields and everything else that we're doing right now. I started at 20 years ago. So I always give my kids a hug and a kiss after a shower, you know. So it's good to show your kids affection also. And I know right now, because of the distance, you know, we work in a medical field, you don't want to come home and give them all that social distancing is still important. Hey, the
Yes.
beautiful Sheila Mangar, good night to you. How you doing? Veronica Jaglal, good night to you. And you know what I said all the time? As a mother, you appreciate your kids being able to take care of themselves as independent. You know, you are at your job. They can make a meal for themselves. You know, they're not going to starve. They know how to do things. So make your kids independent. And guess what? Every day that my husband do something good, guess who's getting the thanks and the praise? Thank God, my mother-in-law. She's an awesome lady for teaching my husband, for blessing me with such a humble guy, helpful guy. So, you know, your mother-in-law deserves some praises too. And if they didn't do a good job, you don't want you to be in that position, right? Be better than they are. So
Absolutely.
guys, let's learn from each other.
And you know, Shanaz, I know it's we passed our time, and I'm so glad that you guys still tuning in. But you know, sometimes I wonder, what are we going to talk about tonight, or whenever the time comes? And we talk, and we didn't realize until I tell you just now. It's 12 minutes past 10.
Right. Let me read Arvinda Kedarnauth comment. Everyone should wash their own underwear, only if it's thick on a small or will not. So going back to that, since I was small, maybe 5, 6, I was raised, you know, to shower. When you shower, to wash your own underwear. So at age 10, one of our cook and the woman that was washing, she said, "Shanaz, I never see your underwear for wash. Do you always just throw them out?" I'm like, "No, I wash it and I put it in my room."
Oh, that's a good thing.
And she's like, "Because your other sisters don't do that. They will give it to me." And I said, "No, I don't believe in that. My mom said you should wash your own underwear when you're showering." So I was raised like that, and she was impressed. You know, she was a cook from Suriname, and she's a fantastic cook. So we learned to eat Suriname dishes and stuff like that. The famous John from Queens.
We have Prati Prasad. Thanks for watching. Also, we have Nirmati Dat watching all the way from Canada.
Good evening to each and every one of you. John Namad, Biram Jairam, Basaran Khan, good evening to you wherever you're watching us from. We wish you safety. We wish you love. And we wish you lots and lots of affection. Where is Selecta Bolt? John Namad said, "Is that DJ Bolt walking around?" That is the famous singer, Mr. Jesh Ramanan. When I say something, Parang is coming up. December 19, you could see the guy from Trinidad is already in the building. So December 19 is a Parang Christmas. We're going to be partying because we want to show you. We want to go in the New Year's with an uplifting spirit, with positive vibes, right? Not necessarily. And the New Year's coming up, guys, if your spouse is drinking, you should reach out to someone. You should talk to them, because you don't want to just leave it on. Let them continue drinking, because that's their way of coping with this pandemic, coping with a loss of job, coping with recovering from a sickness. Talk to them. Let them know how you're feeling, and reach out to getting help for them, because addiction is a bad thing.
Absolutely, Shanaz. And you guys know, if you have a problem with addiction, you can always call me, because I work at an addiction center, and I can always help you guys. Know that you don't have to have a green card or anything.
Mr. Madrid, that's right. We'll have a cooking competition. We're actually supposed to have a cooking competition this year, July past, in the park, in Corona Park, where we're all going to be making chow mein. We're going to have a chow mein competition. I love chow mein. Thank you guys very much for being a part of our Monday night. Rupa Prashad, good night to you, Mr. Madre. I love bunjal shrimp, especially when it's in a karaila, which makes it a kalaunji, right? Good night to each and every one of you. Shanti Anthony, how you doing? Shami Anthony, good night to you. Annie Morgan, good night. Chitra Robindranath. And hey, good night to your handsome husband too. Chitra and her husband was on our float for Diwali, and I miss you guys this year, but hoping and praying that we have a better 2021 where we can have a bigger Diwali parade on Liberty Avenue. So guys, you have to put in some sacrifice to make sure you're here. I mean, there's nothing that would guarantee us being here tomorrow, whether it's COVID or anything else. But let's protect ourselves. Let's not go out to the restaurant, because how unfair is this that the restaurants are open for dining but the schools are closed?
Yep. And it's something to think about, Shanaz. But then on the other flip side, it says, with so many children there, your kids could go and get it at the school. So it's something really for us to
But the
think
parents
about.
are going out to the restaurant for indoor dining, outdoor dining, so they could also bring home something for the kids. So why you're rejecting them from getting an education? Or the teachers going out to teach, but you're okay to go out to a restaurant. And outdoor eating is smaller than any restaurant inside. So I don't know where you think it's safer. Chitra Rabindranath, good night to you. My husband could cook a delicious duck curry. Hey, I make some good duck curry too. I love cooking. But, when you're cooking, you have to have someone who appreciates and love the food that you're cooking. If you give someone duck curry, no matter how much you cook the beautiful duck curry, if they don't like it, they're not going to appreciate all you put into it.
Right.
Rudy Kirpal, good night to you. How you doing? Good night to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for that's my line here. But time flies when you're having fun, and I'm always having fun every Monday with you guys on Chit Chat with Shanaz and Ken, Island Zone Radio. Every Thursday is the musical segment where DJ Bolt really rocks the vibes, right? Hey, John Ahmed, good night, good night. John from Queens, he said he'd throw his underwear in the washing machine. Well, we don't have washing machines in Guyana as much as we do now. We had like 3-4 maids, but one was cooking, one was cleaning, one was a cook. The elderly person was a cook because, experience. So, growing up, we had a good life in Guyana. So, but we still didn't lose our values when it comes to being independent and knowing how to do things for ourselves. Hey, Sissy McBill, good night to you. Jonathan, thank you very much. The beautiful Virginia, how you doing? Avida Danrod, Sonia Chandani, she recognized that's Jesh in the studio. Big things are happening. December 19th, it's a Parang Live Christmas show. I want you guys to join us. And hey, Dolly Shahi, thank you very much. She said, I have 2 boys, 32 and 30, and I taught them to do everything. Independence. You can't starve when you know to cook.
Absolutely.
Hey, Rudy Kirpal, good night to you. Thank you. Dolly Shahi, thank you. The famous John from Queens, Sheila Mangar, Arjuna Madre, Nirmati Dot. Let's hope and pray that 2021 will be a bright and prosperous year for all of us, and COVID could go bye-bye.
And Salman Rahman is saying happy belated birthday to my eldest son, Amir. He turns 16 years old. On behalf of Shanaz and myself, we want to wish your son a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Amir. And hey, it's important to treat your kids with love. Remember to sit down with them and talk, because you don't know what's going on up here. It's a lot of changes for kids, and you don't know if they could deal with it as well as we could deal with it, as good as we could deal with it. So talk to them, because they're withholding from going to school. They're seeing their friends and all that social group. That's a lot of things taken from them.
Yeah, we need to pay attention to our children, especially this time.
And a lot of them might go into, some of us eat when we're happy, some of us eat when we're sad, some of us eat when we're depressed. They cope with things differently, but isolation should not be one of them. Don't ever think it's okay for your kid to sleep more than 8 to 10 hours.
That's right.
To be locked up in a room. It's important to socialize. It's important to eat healthy. It's important to go out there and get sunlight. So schedule your kids, keep an eye on their behavior, because down the line, it could really make an impact on who they are.
Absolutely. You are correct.
Hey, Naz Ali, good night to you. Jesh Raman and the famous John from Queens. Usha Azimula from Wisconsin. I hope you had a fantastic birthday. Nirmati Dot, Avida, thank you. Santa canceled the Xmas show. Nope, Santa can't cancel SMS show. It's going to be happening December 19. Thank you, Nazali. How are you doing? Avida Danraj. And you should train your kids. Everyone should train their kids to be independent and maintain themselves.
My little 12-year-old, but we have to hold him back. Both of them, 12 and 13, they would like to go fry eggs. And we tell them, listen, you have to do that with supervision.
Right.
We can't let you do that by yourself. But they'd like to do.
Well, you have to just be there, let them do it. Be an observer.
Yeah, they could, yeah.
But don't overshadow them or say, let me, do everything for you. You're not enable them to be the best they could be. Men are good cooks, so try it out in the kitchen. Remember to tag us on a picture. Let us know what you're making. Maybe we'll make a guest appearance. And we'll be the judge to taste it.
All right.
He's a good judge of birds, I should say. Ravindra Ramcharan said elementary school open up again today in the city. Junior high and high school may open soon in 2021, hopefully. Shazida, good night to you. Good night to each and every one of you. We'll leave you with DJ Bolt. Let's see what his selection is.
Hey, 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 hey.
La 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 la.
लड़की बड़ी अनजानी है, सपना है सच है कहानी है, देखो ये पगली बिल्कुल ना बदली, ये तो वही.
Mine's or yours? That is Selecta Bolt on the ones and the twos. Thank you, John Love, some Guyanese girls. Naz Ali, good night to you. Usha Azimullah, thank you guys for being a part of our. It feels like Thursday, but it's a beautiful Monday night. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a good and blessed day. Until next time, Salman said back home men do all the cooking at wedding and other big functions. That's right. If you could cook at a big function, you could cook at home for your beautiful wife. Rudy Kirapal, thank you very much for your support. Usha Azimullah, good night to you. Good night to each and every one of you. Until next time, yes, Ken will be singing next time on our program. Take care of yourself and each other. Talk to someone. If you're in need of a friend, call us. We are here to you.
दिल तो पागल है, दिल दीवाना है, दिल तो पागल है, दिल दीवाना है.